All right. We are back with another rant. It's been about a week since the last time I did a rant. And, I figured, why not? All right. We're back with another rant. Figured, why not do another rant? Last time I did a rant. And, anyhow, why not? Give me a sec here, guys. Figured, why not do another rant? Gotta change up my audio here. Anyhow. So, yeah, so I just wanted to do a quick rant. Because I've seen quite a bit of an excitement, I guess, over the past I don't know 24 hours with regards to Shadow of War. And hold on a sec here, guys. I'm just gonna tweet out this link again. Give me a sec here. All right. There we go. Showing. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, I just had to. You probably saw it because I'm screen sharing right now. I had to put out a quick link on Twitter, but yeah. So here you are, Digital Foundry, Xbox One X, Shadow of War door or Shadow of War door. I can't even fucking talk. Xbox One X. I've been up since 5:30 in the morning. Got up, did a 5K race in DC, and just got back home like an hour ago. So it's been a long day already. But here you go. The article: Xbox One X Shadow of War shows profound improvements over PS4 Pro. I don't think anyone's really surprised by that. Um, just given the specs of the Xbox One X, I mean, this is what a lot of us expected, especially um, with games that were where publishers may have had a partnership with Microsoft. You would expect those games to um, be shown in a good light, and that's great news for the industry. It's great news if you're purchasing an Xbox One X. Um, but I wanted to talk about something because I just I have fun poking. I have fun poking holes in the logic of fanboys, and it's not a hard thing to do because they tend to lack the ability to um, think critically. They tend to be followers. They tend to follow certain people, certain ideas, and looks like with Basement Radio Arcade, like my brethren, the Iron Lords. We're not going to tell you what you want to hear, or we're going to tell you what you need to hear. I'll borrow that quote from the Iron Lords. We never the creation of BRAP was never intended to be a propaganda machine for Sony or for Microsoft. The intent was to just have real, honest dialogue about the console industry, and to kind of provide a different perspective outside of the many fanboy podcasts that are out there. The ones where you have people kind of proclaiming themselves as experts and whatnot. Um, that was kind of the whole point to all this. And um, we wanted to have honest conversations, honest dialogue, and that was it because I've always believed that fanboyism by its nature is truly anti-consumer anyway. It does nothing but harm the consumer, and really kind of puts the community in a bad light. It really does. You see some of the most ridiculous behavior out there. You have idiots out there stalking game journalists for 2 years for uh, not agreeing with the review of a certain game. And so and I had the pleasure of it. If you haven't done so already, go check out the Thursday nights Super Deformed Games Cast podcast. Go check that out. Go check out this past Thursday's podcast because I was part of that, and I had the pleasure, the honor of sitting down with those guys and sitting down with Seamus Blackley, the father of the Xbox, and just hearing him share his stories, hear him talking about the hard work and everything they put into getting this product out, and kind of where the industry's gone now. It was kind of it further reminded me why I play video games, because it's something that I'm passionate about. It further reminded me of why I'm not a fanboy. Um, why none of these guys are fanboys. I mean, these guys love gaming, and it doesn't matter what platform they do it on. They love it. So when I hear these guys go out there and get the propaganda machine turning, and we're starting to see it now. We're starting to see what I call resolution wars rear its ugly head, coming full cycle now. And I remember I said this to there was a guy who I forget his name now. Shoot, I believe it was Major Llanos or something like that. He was hold on a second, guys. He was someone that used to like console war a lot, and to like just on the Sony side and whatnot. And I said to him, I said, one day you're gonna go out there and you're making fun of the original Xbox, and Microsoft's gonna come out and put out a more powerful console, and lo and behold, here's what's going to happen. I mean, you're going to put out this powerful. They're going to put out this powerful console that's more powerful than the PlayStation 4, and then people are going to come back at you. And sure enough, this was probably 3 years ago when I said this to him, and sure enough, here we are. The Xbox One X is coming out. It's going to be the most powerful console, most powerful hardware, and I see people celebrating the fact that it's more powerful and rubbing it in the faces of other gamers. Now, in my opinion, and look, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to, but in my opinion, that's very immature. Shows a lack of maturity, especially excuse me, especially like, look, if you're a grown fucking man, if you're a man and you're grown and you're rubbing the fact that a plastic box is more powerful than someone else's plastic box, you get an L in my book. Grown men should not be behaving that way. And I'm sorry, they just shouldn't. And I've been very vocal about that. Sometimes I've had people say, "Oh, I'm too harsh. Enrique, you shouldn't be telling people they need to sack up." Nah, people need to sack up. And I'll say it again: if you emotionally get distraught, or your feelings get rocked because someone doesn't like your plastic box that you game on, or a journalist says something you don't like about a game that you like, or your plastic box, if you get shook that easy, you need to sack up. And here we are with the Xbox One X, Digital Foundry, and I wanted to share the headline here of Xbox One X Shadow of War shows profound improvements over PS4 Pro. Now I'm going to take this down real quick. And I wanted to share this because many of y'all remember a time when Digital Foundry was called Pony Foundry. They were, referred to as being biased towards the Xbox. And here we are with Shadow of Mordor, or Shadow of War, I'm sorry. And it's here's what I don't get. The same people that went out and screened bias against Digital Foundry are now championing, are now praising Digital Foundry. It's truly amazing. Like it's an amazing thing to see. If you sit back and you've been watching this thing progress, um, it's like it's like wow, like people like this is the same group or website that you used to criticize and say um, that they're biased against the product or the game console that you chose to support. No, and I've been saying this. Look, here's the deal. Like it's when you put out good product, when you put out good content, they're going to talk about that. If a game performs well and it outperforms one platform versus another, Digital Foundry is going to report that. They're not in the business to show favoritism towards one console. If the PC version of a game outperforms the Xbox One X version and Digital Foundry mentions it, there you go. That's their job. And it's amazing. Now we have people shifting narratives, and I see it on both sides. And I think why I talk about this is because I think there's people out there that get lost. And maybe these people feel rejected. Maybe they feel like, this is the only place where I feel like I belong. But don't follow a group that's toxic. That relishes in the idea of rubbing things in the faces of other people for the sake of revenge. I want you guys to think about this: revenge over toys, because that's what game consoles are. They're fucking toys. They're expensive toys. I heard some fucking guys the other day say that this was with with the whole Digital Foundry thing and the whole Shadow of War, Xbox One X versus PS4 Pro, that this is somehow the Xbox One's community's Independence Day, something to that effect. Are you fucking kidding me? If you're a grown man and you're saying these kinds of things about a plastic toy, a box, you need to nut up. Seriously, it's not that serious. And it only shows that you don't truly understand fundamentally what gaming is really about and what it's always been about: entertainment, having fun. And in my book, you're not a real gamer if you don't understand those things. I've gotten criticized for saying that. Oh, there's no, well, what does that mean, real gamer? People game, they game. No, I think to me, the realest gamers, the hardcore gamers, just have appreciation for game consoles. They have appreciation for the art of making video games, the passion that goes behind into it. But you guys have people out here that call themselves gamers that just want to destroy people, that want to destroy another company. And again, I'll say, if you think that way, sack the fuck up. Because that is ridiculous. You're a grown ass man. You can't be going out there and getting your panties in a bunch because a website said something about a game not performing as well as it does on another console. Come on, really? Let me tell you something. I have played games on the Xbox One, multi-plat games that performed better on the PS4. I didn't enjoy those games any less on the Xbox One. Sure, I may have read the articles about performance, and at times where maybe there was a specific game, like a shooter, where maybe the one version had better frame rates than the other, I probably, choose the one with a slightly better frame rate. You know, because I have the ability and have the option to do that because I own 3 game consoles. I could do that. But again, sites like this are just reporting on game performance. There's no bias in that, people. There's no bias. And so when I see these things, it makes me scratch my head. And it really just makes me like, it really makes me think that these people just don't get it. And, I think if you're, if you're, I guess, a fan of, I don't even understand. I don't even understand the concept of being a fan of a plastic box of a game console. I've been a fan of gaming for 30 years, 30 plus years, but I've never specifically been a fan of a console. That's why I've owned multiple consoles. you know, I've never understand that rationale. And so, look, if you are excited about the Xbox One X, you should be. You should be. There's nothing wrong with that. As a gamer, I'm excited about it. New technology. The only disappointment that I have is that it's really more or less a machine to try to push 4K, and I'd like to see them take some of that additional horsepower and really create some new content. Create new content that's specifically geared for that box. I would love to see that. But like most sensible gamers, we're excited about it. We don't look at it as the Vengeance console or, oh, look at the Sony guys now. Oh, they're so salty. If you're a grown ass man and you're relishing of the fact that other grown men are salty, you got to sack up. You got to sack up. I'm sorry. And I'm just going to be blunt from now on. I'm going to be blunt. And I had people say, "Oh, don't be blunt." Nope. I'm going to be blunt now. I'm going to be blunt because I care about this hobby. I care about the gaming lifestyle. Been doing it for a long time. And it's troublesome when I see this dysfunction going on in the community, and I see it, and it's just back and forth now, and now, and what's so ridiculous is that, um, for some of the guys that are some of the Xbox fanboys, um, and these are, and by the way, these are the extreme fanboys. I mean, I think there's one thing to be a fanboy and one thing to be kind of an extreme fanboy where you're becoming abusive, or you're putting out false narratives, propaganda. You're kind of you're using your voice for evil instead of good. Um, but it's troublesome to see that there's people out there now that are just relishing at the fact that there's meltdowns on Gaff, that Sony ponies are so salty now. And I'm thinking to myself, do you know what's going to happen in 3 years, 4 years, when the PlayStation 5 comes out and it becomes the most powerful console? Then what? What? Then you're going to be on the other side of the fence. And so now it becomes this vicious cycle. And I don't understand this, people. This is insanity. Wake the fuck up, people. This is insane. This cycle of back and forth, back and forth. I'm starting to wonder if you guys fucking game at all. Because I honestly, I don't have that much time to go back and forth arguing over resolution and who's salty and who's not. This shit is crazy. It's crazy. And this Thursday, listening to, again, having the privilege of meeting the father of the Xbox, Seamus. It just, hearing him, his passion, I mean, just about gaming is just, it just reminded me, like, that's what it's about. It's about enjoyment. It's about enjoyment. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the minutia of things, and we lose sight of what's important when it comes to gaming. And that most important thing is um enjoying just whatever platform you're gaming on, just enjoying it. Whether it's the most powerful, the least powerful, who gives a fuck? As long as you enjoy it, that's all that matters. Entertainment is the core of gaming. Look at the Nintendo Switch, the most least powerful of all the current gen consoles, and it's currently outselling them because people are enjoying playing their Switch. And that's facts. People are just enjoying playing their Switch. They don't give a fuck about resolution. They don't give a fuck about frames per second. Well, they might for frames per second. I think that's probably more important than resolution. But they're not out here talking about resolution or who's salty and who's look who's salty now. That's just some childish shit. Childish shit. And it's really sad to see grown men act like children. Sack up, people. Sack up. It's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. I see people out there and they're running with this Digital Foundry article and they're like, yeah, yeah, man. Fuck yeah. It's our time. It's your time. It's your time. An article comes out that basic that that really is an honest article because it deals with performance and it says, okay, well, the Xbox One X version performs better than the uh, its PS4 Pro's counterpart, which I mean, no one should be surprised considering the guts of the Xbox One X. But here we are, and people are like, "It's our time." I never thought this time would come. Really? If you're a grown man and you put that much thought into it, you need to sack up because you don't know and you don't get what gaming's about. If you didn't enjoy your console, your gaming experiences, or you got that shook by someone you don't know because they wrote an article based on analysis performance of a game, then one thing, two, one, you're very insecure as an individual. Two, you probably don't really like you're not completely 100% sold on your purchase. And three, if those things matter to you, then own the best hardware. That's why some people get a game on PC. Look, guys, I'm not trying to. A big shout out to everyone in the live chat. I'm not trying to name any, any names, podcasts, but it's both sides. We see this in the Sony side, we see it on the Xbox side. It's unfortunate, and no one speaks up about it, you know. And I feel like it's important to have these conversations to talk about it because, I think there's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of us that just enjoy gaming. We have our preferences, but we don't get shook. We don't get shook. We don't get all, we don't get our panties in a bunch because Digital Foundry said, one version of a game plays better than the other version. We enjoy the game. We enjoy the game. And so when I see these people now championing Digital Foundry, the same people that said they were a fraud, that they were biased towards the Xbox, when I see these things and I'm thinking to myself, bias, they're frauds, they're Xbox, or they're biased against Xbox, they're frauds, they're liars. And I'm thinking to myself, no, that's you. You're the fraud. You're the liar. Because you really don't stand for anything other than maybe trying to get hits on a YouTube channel or trying to be cool. Mighty Mouse, look, I don't want to get to. I'm not going to say I'm not going to refer to people as pony and Xbox. The only Xbox care about power because I saw it with Sony fanboys too. So that's not even a fair thing to say. Hey, what's up, Frankie? Happy Independence Day, baby. By the way, guys, seriously, and I really we I really like to support and anytime I can shout out some of these podcasts that really kind of I think go under the radar. Guys that are just really knowledgeable gamers and offer great gaming conversations. Um, definitely check out definitely check out the guys at Short Pause. Um, Great group of guys. Frankie's part of them, and just a bunch of knowledgeable gamers that just love gaming. So if you haven't done so, check out the Short Pause podcast. So great group of guys. So that's my thing, man. Like it's just a bunch of nonsense, and it takes away from I almost said Gamergate. It just takes away from just some of it's just ridiculous and it's toxic. And I'm just people should talk out against this stuff. They really should. These aren't the voices you want in the community. You know, this is you don't want this kind of stuff, man. And the saddening part is that it's coming from adults, and that's the most troublesome thing. Like if you were 15, I'd give you a pass, seriously. When you're grown, you're married, you got kids, there's no excuse for this. None. And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna keep it real. Like I said, like my fellow brethren of the Iron Lords podcast. Check them out too if you haven't. A great group of guys. I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. We're not here to, feed anyone any kind of propaganda or, push some kind of narrative. No, we're here to just talk about games, talk about the gaming industry. And you know what's crazy? And this is the part that the guys that go out and they're championing console wars, and they're calling people salty and look who's salty now and blah blah blah. These are the guys that are missing the big picture. There's things that are going right now in the gaming industry that are more important than resolution, that are more important than who is salty and who's not. You know, Digital Tiger says, "I see a pattern. You love to beef on the best day of the week." I don't know what that means. You mean on Saturday? Maybe, I don't know. But there's bigger issues that really have an impact on us. This whole resolution shit doesn't impact us at all. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It comes down to personal decision, personal choice, and that's your business. No one else's. If you're happy with whatever you purchase, that's on you. You should be happy. Fuck everyone else if they don't like your purchase. Yeah, you're right. Digital Taco Saturday. Yeah, yeah. It's Saturday's a good day to or a good day to do the rants. Yeah, Frankie Viper Strike says, "Man, I was so happy when the res junk had finally stopped. Now here we are again, freezing frames and zooming in on textures. I mean, that shit's come on, like who? I mean, come on, people. Who has the time to fucking like take a belt buckle on Laura Croft's belt and freeze frame and shit? And oh, look, her belt's got extra creases on the PC version. Oh, I mean, come on, people, really? Like you're gonna fucking notice that while you're playing the game." Again, sack up. And Frankie, we're going to see it because when the PS5 comes, the fanboys are going to come back. The PS4, the Sony fanboys. Digital Tiger, Xbox One X does have games. It's not. If you're talking about first party, we that's a separate conversation, but they do have support. So I don't agree with that. That narrative of Xbox One X has no games. No, it has games. It may not have console exclusive games to it, but it has games. I don't think that's an accurate a statement to make. You could say that if you want to compare first party to Sony first party, yeah, Sony's doing a better job of that department. Both consoles are great consoles. I mean, I'm not going to even argue that point. Each console does certain things better than the other, and those are the facts. Yes, Mario Odyssey this Friday, people. If you don't own a Switch, go out and buy one. I'm hearing great things about Mario Odyssey. I haven't played Halo Wars 2 yet, Frankie, but I heard it's good. The console wars should be called the petty wars. You're right, Mighty Mouse. It is petty. It's petty, and it's grown men. I'm telling you, I show my wife some of the comments sometimes, and she laughs her ass off. And you know what? It's sad because it feeds at. And Seamus said this like on the podcast. He's like, before when he got into gaming and before the original Xbox took off, gaming was kind of like looked at as a, like you like if you're a gamer, you're a nerd, you're kind of an outcast. Gaming is really mainstream now. It's right up there with movies and music. It's super mainstream. And and so when my wife sees this, it feeds that stereotype to her for gamers. She's like, these guys must be fucking nerds. So, wow, Frankie. Oh, you just smart design? Yeah, oh, yeah, it looks amazing. Oh, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. But yeah, and by the way, Frankie, I thank you again, man, for sending those things to me. By the way, I really appreciate that. Seriously, you're a good dude, man. Um, good dude. Got to get you back on the show. So, yeah, so there's a lot. So when these people are like arguing over stupid shit, resolution wars, Digital Foundry, who's salty, how salty's gaffed this week. There's more important issues that could potentially impact us in a very negative way. That should be the focus. Those are the things that we should be passionate about outside of talking about our favorite game that we're playing or our most anticipated title that we're playing or maybe features that we want to see added to these consoles. Now, um, Activision, we talked about it this week on Basement Radio Arcade. We talked about Activision's patent, and it's basically a loot crate patent where basically it's a matchmaking system. It's a way to kind of manipulate matchmaking where Activision will drop you in a game. Let's say you pick a character class, you want to be a sniper. They'll drop you in a game with other snipers of a higher level skill level. And after that game ends and you get your ass whooped, they'll make suggestions for items you should purchase for the particular character class you have. See what they're doing? They're manipulating that decision. It's basically an algorithm. And those are the things that we should be focusing on. Those are the things that we should be. I mean, everyone in the live chat, have you guys heard about this? The Activision patent? Give everyone a minute in the live chat to reply. Oh, Mighty Mouse thinks they do that already. They might. We don't know that. They say they don't, but they might. But that's the thing that I'm talking about. Like those are the kinds of things that people should be focused on. Not this fucking stupid console war shit. Not the whole who's salty, it's our Independence Day. You know, that's clown shit. There's other important things to focus on: microtransactions, loot boxes. Digital Tiger says Slack Division still refuses to give us dedicated servers. I thought they were. I thought they did have dedicated servers. I could be wrong, but I thought they did. Frankie's listening to all the exclusives on Xbox: Rise, Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive, Cuphead. The first half of Recore. Frankie, dude, that's probably the best way to describe Recore. The first half. I gotta be honest with you. I thought Rise is. I think Rise is a very underrated game. I liked it a lot, and I liked it even more the second playthrough. And it's visually a great looking game. Sunset Overdrive is an awesome game. Halo 5 was okay. I wasn't. It wasn't my favorite of the Halo franchise. Gears 4, okay. It wasn't my favorite of the Gears. Um, Forza. I mean, Forza is just Forza. Forza is just what Turn 10 does is just amazing. Wasn't really big at Killer Instinct. Cuphead is fun but challenging. Cuphead's a good game. Um, let's see. Something over to Quantum Break. Quantum Break was okay. It wasn't Remedy's best work. It really wasn't. It was an okay game. Um, yeah, handling LSS. It's why PC gamers get what they want because they don't take part in the pissing contest of what plastic is better. Well, that's not entirely true. They do piss on each other's, um, graphics cards and stuff like that. That's at least to my knowledge extent. It could maybe go deeper than that. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, I just after seeing some of this stuff, I just feel like gloating at the misery of others is really fucking immature and an asshole thing to do. You're kind of a douchebag if you do that, and you lack a lot of maturity. And so just seeing this stuff is just look, enough's enough. And it's getting old. It's getting old. Like there's so much other stuff to be talking about. Um, Ricardo says PS4 started this console wars power and resolution. No, they didn't. They didn't. It wasn't. Look, people forget this. In any console generation, any start of any new console gen, the focus is always on features and hardware of the console because there aren't a lot of games out. And so when the Xbox One came in at a higher price, $100 more, was less powerful, had a forced device on you, the Kinect that nobody wanted, yeah, that was an issue. And the focus did naturally go to power because you had a console that was $100 cheaper that was more powerful. And at the time, there wasn't really any games to focus on in the beginning of the console gen. That's what happened. I mean, people, this is going. Look, this happens every console gen. The start, it's always a focus. The focus is always on the power of consoles because there's no games to talk about. And there are games, but there's not a lot of games. And when you get further into a console gen, the focus always shifts to third-party support, first-party, and quality of titles. I mean, and that's it. That's just how it's always been. It's that natural progression. People, you guys, some people just look, y'all. Some of y'all just need to do your homework. I mean, really, like seriously, like if you don't take everything that you read on social media, and that's part of the problem. I'm very the one thing that and because I say this to my 8-year-old, the one thing that I'll say this about social media, and I think the detriment to social media to people, it it doesn't challenge you. It doesn't. Social media doesn't allow you to think critically about something. You see a tweet and you're like, oh my god, that's so true. It has to be true. It makes sense. It just makes sense. So that's true. No, research. Look up the facts. Read books. Talk to other people. Think outside your bubble. Think outside of what you're comfortable with. Learn new things. I mean, those things are so important. Now I really got on my soapbox. This is what I say to my 8-year-old because I think it's very important to be a critical thinker. Let's see. Chief Tommy says, "Yeah, but it looks like a little shady when PC looks worse than PS Pro and Xbox." It's a good point. I mean, that's that's on the developer though. I mean, and that could be a developer thing. Where the PC might look worse. It could be the coding. I mean, that's just. I'm not a developer, but my understanding, what little understanding that I have, is that sometimes a development issue. You know, and and that's the other thing. People don't understand that. People don't understand that. So, um, yeah, so that's all I have today, guys. I wanted to talk about this because I feel like it's important to talk about. Like we got to stop this nonsense and this fucking victory parade. Look, if you're excited about the Xbox One X, great. Be excited about it. But don't shit on other people. Don't be a fucking douchebag. Don't shit on other people or mock other people because look, you're not doing anything positive by doing that. You're doing the opposite. You're doing the opposite. One, you're acting like a child. Two, you're showing a huge lack of maturity on your part. You know, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. You got to sack up. I'm going to get so much hate for this rant, but you know what? I don't care. It needs to be said. It needs to be said. And I'm not someone who doesn't voice my opinion. I voice my opinion. I say what's on my mind. Yeah, hashtag sack up. There you go, Frankie. Maybe we should start a Kickstarter called an indie game called Sack Up. But yeah, I mean, this shit is toxic. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, like some of the shit that I see is it's just crazy. And it's like people are like, you know what really kills me on social media? You call this out, and people look at you funny for calling out people who are acting like douchebags. People look at you funny for calling someone out who stalks, uh, journalists for a game review they didn't like. I'm like, what the fuck? Like what is wrong here? Like that's you call some bullshit out, and now you look that funny. That shit doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. But excuse me, I had to yawn real quick. Like I said, I've been up since like 5 something in the morning. Ran a 5K. A little tired. A little tired. Probably play some Destiny here in a little bit, hopefully. So, well, that's all I have for you all. That's it for my rant. Got nothing else to say. You know, you'll probably hear me rant a little bit more about fanboy shit because it's again, I feel like it's important to call out. It's just because it's this vicious cycle, and it's just stupid. It's fucking stupid. And the worst part is you have grown ass men doing this. Mind blowing. Mind blowing. Doesn't make sense. Just enjoy your game console. Be excited. You could easily talk about um the fact that Shadow of War runs better on Xbox One X than PlayStation 4 Pro without being like, oh yeah, fuck the Pro, yeah, yeah. You can do with all that extra dumb shit. Oh boy, I tell you what, people are gonna be hot. I think after listening to this podcast. Yep, I got somebody already. ES Hawkins, F you, you piece of shit, such a F tard. Wow, and see, and you are part of the problem, sir. And yeah, like, how does that make you feel? Like, do you feel like tough saying that? Oh my god. Look at this guy. Hey Hawkins, man, let me ask you something, man. Do you feel tough saying this? Seriously. What's your life like, man? Tell me about your life. I'm being serious. Dude, I'll send you a link. You can come on the show right now. We can talk it. We can talk it out. I mean, seriously. I mean, you feel tough saying this? I mean, say something. Say something in live chat. You feel tough enough to go ahead and insult my wife and call me a fucktard? Oh boy. See, and this is sad. Like this is sad that someone like thinks that this is okay. I mean, it's just terrible. Like this makes you look very bad as an individual, Hawkins. Seriously, it does. I mean, you look pathetic, dude. You look pathetic. It's sad. I really feel bad for you. I really do. And it's unfortunate because this is all over video games. It's all over a plastic box. Are you getting upset like this? Dude, go outside, man. Go outside, catch some sun rays. You know? Sack up. Sack up, Hawkins. And that's what I thought. He's not going to say anything. You more than yeah. I'll give you a platform to come in here and you can talk. Digital Tiger's right. Hey, Frankie, I'm not a professional shit stirrer. I just speak my mind, man. And people don't like that. All right, hold on a sec here. I gotta do something. Yeah, I had to drop the ban hammer. Sorry, dude. See that, and that's the kind of nonsense that I'm talking about. People get that triggered. Chief told me, right? Like he took it like we were talking about his mom. You know what, Frankie? I say, look, I'm not here to be like a cheerleader for a game console. You know, I'm not I'm not here to sit there and be like, oh, Xbox number one, PlayStation 4 number one, or Nintendo Switch rules. I mean, that's just stupid. I'm here to talk about video games. I'm here to enjoy video games. I'm here to talk about games that we're playing that we enjoy, industry trends that we're seeing. You know, yeah, and we get in Digital Tiger. He says, "I don't agree with everything you say. I don't agree with everything you say, Digital, but you and I can have a civil conversation about our disagreements without attacking each other, and that's what and that's what this is about, Digital. You know." Frankie says that media bias, though. There you go with that, man. There's no media bias. There's not. There might be some journalists that aren't just good journalists, but there's not bad. There's not this. Look, I've talked to several people in the media, and they laugh every time and I've heard them laugh because I've been in chats with them, and they're like, no, there's not this conspiracy against Xbox. But it's gotten so bad with the community. They're almost aware of the fact that certain extreme Xbox fanboys are um feel this way, and they say that there's at times it's to their own detriment. So yes, my opinions are my own. Like I don't, and that's the thing. Like you have guys out there who speak like their opinions are facts. Like that, I'll say some things that are based on facts. I'll say other things that are my opinions. You can agree with them or disagree with them. If you disagree with them, we can have a conversation about it. Without attacking each other, because that's what adults do. That's called being an adult. Unlike that asshat who, you know, insulted my wife, who was just in here. So people just need to calm the fuck down. This shit is crazy, man. Like I laugh. I'm sorry. This shit is just wild. I don't get it. I just laugh. You know what, Frankie? I know what mutual dude you talked about being upset. I'm like, man, come on, really? Why are you upset? They're port begging. Man, they're not fucking port begging. Stop with that nonsense. Sack up. Sack up. They are not port begging. That was not a port begging thing. You know, you're right, Frank. It's like Bayonetta 2, amazing game, right? Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's if anything, it's a compliment to how good the game is. You know? Oh my goodness. It's just yeah. And look, people want it because it's a good game. I mean, that's a compliment to the game. You know, and it's just like Frankie, that whole thing, and I got to a discussion about that. It just there's certain people that you just can't get through. They get in their own way, and I'll just leave it at that. You know, yeah, I don't know about this whole. Yeah, I mean, look, this whole port begging, wanting a game. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong wanting a game. You know, and if you have the means to do it, buy the platform that has that game. If you can, you know. Frankie says games aren't known to do well on Xbox, so loving it and wanting it to sell on platforms isn't a bad thing. Yeah, it's not a bad thing from the industry perspective. It's not from a developer. It's not. You know, although I think Cuphead's doing pretty well, Frankie. You know, I think their first party stuff hasn't really sold well. I think the third party does well though on the Xbox. You know, and by the way, no one's bashing the Xbox. Frankie isn't bashing the Xbox. I don't want anybody to get upset because that's not what he's saying. I mean, he's speaking facts. You know, if you don't like the facts and you get all upset over a plastic box, sack up. I don't know what to tell you. So she told me says it's true, but then again, we don't know what's going on their in their personal lives. Some people handle things differently. Just hope they treat people good. Normally, it's wrong, but it happens. You know what? I think that there's people who probably have some issues, and that's probably why they behave that way. There's probably people who don't have good social skills, and that's why they behave that way. But you know what? It's not my fault. It sucks that they don't have those skills, but it doesn't give them the right to behave that way either. But a lot of people that I've seen that I think they're well skilled socially, they're just immature. You know, they need to sack up. Frankie, you got to come back on the show, man. You know, Frankie always has really good insight. I mean, he's just a passionate gamer. Yeah, I agree with you, Frankie. You're right. I mean, there's you know, Frankie brought up a point. Yes and no. Things like Halo, Zelda, or Uncharted are good and kind of necessary to showcase a platform. No, I agree with you 110%. I really do. That's why I'm really interested to see how Halo 6 is going to be um, on the Xbox One X. Digital Tiger says, sorry, E, you're my dude, but it's Destiny Siege time. Have a great Saturday. No doubt, man. You go, hey, you have fun playing Destiny, man. I appreciate you coming by, Digital. So, and actually, you know, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this rant. I think I said I was going to a couple of minutes ago, but hey, I just want to thank everyone again. Seriously, big shout out to everyone in the live chat. And by the way, guys, remember we're giving away. Hey, by the way, guys, hit the like button because there's 15 of you in here, and there's only 9 likes. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. And also remember, Chicken Spaghetti, who good dude, great gamer, good dude in the gaming community. He's actually donating a PlayStation 4 this holiday to BRAP so that we can give it away to one of our subscribers. So this holiday, we're going to be giving away a free PlayStation 4 compliments of chicken spaghetti to one of our lucky subscribers. So if you haven't done so, subscribe. I mean, shit, you could win a free PlayStation 4 Pro, whether or not you like a PlayStation. It's free. I mean, shit, who wouldn't want a free game console? I don't know. I'm just saying. So, everyone, please check out the Super Deformed Games Cast podcast this past Thursday with Seamus Blackley. I was on that podcast. It was an honor. Great show. Some great dialogue with Seamus, and some great conversation in regards to loot crates, visceral closing, and definitely check out this past Wednesday's episode of Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. We talked about visceral closing, the whole Activision patent, and we actually talked some sports too, and gave some recipes for ice cream. Believe it or not. So, on that note, everyone have an awesome weekend. Thank you for dropping by and listening to me bitch and rant about fanboys. And hey, if you know anybody who's fanning out, pull them aside. Say, hey, dude, sack up. I'm joking. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. Peace.